Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and today I'd like to talk about life being a two-way street or even a multi-way street. So what do I mean when I say that life is a two-way or a multi-way street? Well, we'd like it to be a one-way street. We'd like it to be our way street. But invariably it isn't, for we are an intrinsic part of the ecosystem. We are a part of the dynamic that is constantly unfolding, which is the ecosystem in itself. And in order to explain that, I'd like to take an example of the kite flying, the festival we celebrate when we fly kites in the skies. And somewhere we all like to believe that we are flying our kites, that our kites are in our control. And to an extent that might be true, but on the bigger spectrum, it might be a different game altogether. So let's imagine we are flying our kites standing in our place. Can we fly the kite without the air or without the breeze blowing? Probably not. Or maybe it just might be a little too difficult. The kite may even have some resistance about its own flight when the breeze is not there. Let's still dive a little deeper into that image. So if you see, the kite is being held by a thread, which in fact is being held by us. But the thread is also looped by a bigger loop, which is also probably held by somebody else. And when we need to fly our kites, we also need somebody else to be able to hold it for us and to be able to lift it up for us on the other end, on the opposite end of us, facing us. As much as we'd like to think that we are in control of our kites, let's even assume that probably the wind or the breeze is also controlling our actions, because without it, the kite would probably not take its flight. Let's also think that the kite that is tied down by a thread is tied down by a loop, which is held by somebody else, invariably also telling us that we may not be in complete control of our kite. Now let's also think that the kite that is tied down by a thread is tied down by a loop, which is held by somebody else, invariably also telling us that we may not be in complete control of our kite, of our actions. Let's also think of the person who's supporting us when the person is holding the kite on the other end and helping it lift it up for us who's holding the thread of the kite. And somewhere, if we really understand it, if we really dissect it, we'll also understand that a thread, a loop, a kite is also controlling us. We can only move a few inches or a few feet here and there so long as we are holding that kite, so long as that thread is in our hands, because that thread that is wound to the loop is also being held by somebody else. And exactly in the same manner, whatever we try to control is also invariably controlling us. Not only the breeze is controlling the kite that we are trying to control, invariably if we equate it, the breeze is also controlling us. Not only the thread that we are trying to grip and give it a certain direction is also controlling us back. And there are probably other two people holding the loop and the kite trying to give it a lift, who are also invariably trying to control us. Maybe not consciously realizing it, but it's all happening at the same time. And it's the same with our thoughts, with our feelings. The more we try to control them without analyzing them, without assessing them, without realizing as to what they are bringing for us on the table, as to what lessons is it trying to teach us, the thoughts, the feelings will constantly control us. And we may live in the illusion that we are controlling our kites, that we are the master of our kites, just like we are the master of our thoughts or our emotions. But unless we look at the bigger picture, we'll never understand that invariably everything is interconnected. And the more we try to control too many factors also begin to control us. And unless we release that kite, and unless we release those thoughts and those emotions, we'll probably never understand as to what essentially was controlling us, living with the illusion that we are controlling our own kite, our own thoughts, our own emotions. So let's try and be aware of this interplay, of this dynamic, of this ecosystem that we are a part of, because unless we are aware of the bigger picture, we'll always be living in the illusion that we are controlling our kites, forgetting that the kite, a non-living thing, that the thread that even ties the bigger kite, is also controlling us. Let's try and develop a more holistic approach to things. And I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contents of my videos, please do like, share and subscribe.